We're at the, I guess, the north end of our complex, and it's nice to be able to say that actually in those terms, the north end, the south end of the complex, compared to the facility that we were once in, which was, of course, this big, and many years, decades old. Well, I'll show you my office here. We wanted this to be a professional football office, and it is. So I'm pretty happy about it, representing not just myself as the current head coach, but head coaches in the future over the decades that will sit, here. To me, this room was a really important room when we were designing it, because this is for our volunteer coaches, and I wanted their home away from home to be as nice as possible. Everybody's got the same lockers as the players, oversized lockers, great for the coaches. We've got a washroom back here. We've got 3 showers back there. And our beer fridge in the corner, which is part of being volunteer coaches. When I toured our coaches around first time, this is probably the room that we went from the locker room this direction. This might have been the room that they were most excited about until they got to the coaches room, and because this is where the players learn and the coaches teach. We've got 110 desks, computer system on the wall. Everything is touch screen. We can sync it up so that we can show film to the entire room, different quadrants. We can program to whatever we want, any specifics we want in here. It's a great setup. Players spend a lot more time actually in this room in meetings and looking at film than they do in the practice field. So the value of this is tremendous. Now, this weight room, the combination of our locker room and this training center is the best single team situation in the country, regardless of sport. The 2 most important rooms for players, whether you're in the NHL, the CFL, the Major League Baseball, whatever it may be, for any player, high school players, is your locker room and your training center, your weight room. And so our emphasis here was, when we were designing our facility, was players first, and that was the greatest part of our emphasis. It's going to be a great training center throughout the year for our players, not just strength and conditioning, but also in terms of teamwork and even technical work that we can do, because we can program them on there and they can function at the skills that they need to perform at in the middle of January in our training center. Even the washrooms. I mean, we've got 2 shower rooms, 18 showers, 5 toilets, 5 urinals. I mean, that sounds like, but look at the space we have in here. So we're entering the athletic therapy room here. We have cold tubs in that room. We have storage. We have an additional washroom here. We have our head therapist who's doing some work there. Her office is back in that corner along with the doctor's office. We have 4 treatment tables, 1 in that room and 3 across here. Taping tables along this wall. We have a full-time strength coach, and we have a full-time athletic therapist that's with us through the season. I don't know of any CIS program in the country that has that. We also have our equipment room is on the other side of this wall, and all we do is we roll up that window, and it's very convenient. You want to get your face mask changed, you walk across from your locker, you hand it to our equipment manager, she works on it, fixes it up, hands it right back to you. This locker room, we've got the Bison in the center of the floor. We put that around it to start with, so they get the lay of the land. They get used to not walking on that space, so we'll train them kind of like, like monkeys, that they get their pattern and then they stay on it. The locker room houses 84 student athletes, Bison football players. We have oversized lockers. Part of it is the contour, and if you see it from the side, but aesthetically it looks great. But also, if I'm sitting in a locker and I'm leaning back, and my partner says something to me, instead of a wall being here, now we can just talk. It just becomes a more communicative room, a more open room. They can store their stuff under here. You can see there's a bunch of stuff in the locker, and nice heavy wood. Each locker has its own independent power source all the way through the room. For computers, we're all Wi-Fi'd up in here in this space, but nevertheless, for computer usage, iPhones, the list goes on. Each guy has his own stall, our own locker that they can so choose to lock. We'll have a lounge area here, lounge area there, flat screen TVs, PlayStation at each one of the pillars. Really, when you actually break it down, you know, these guys could almost live here. They can. We've got meeting rooms that are set up with computer stations. They can study here. They can eat here. We have a kitchen. They can work out here in their training facility. They can relax here in the locker room. They can get treatment right across the hall in our therapy room. There's nothing missing. In fact, I'm gonna have to do periodic checks to make sure they're not cutting class and hanging out here when they should be in class on campus. It's going to be a tough place to leave. It's going to be a great place to be.